Hello, this is Angelo, and we are here with a very special event. As you probably know, today we have crossed the mark of 4,200 daily shots of inspiration. That's right. And soon enough, like in a matter of a few seconds, you'll know why I chose the title Happiness Marathon: How to Reach Your Destination Without Losing Yourself. So, why are we here today? Because one newsletter idea that I had back in the October of 2014 has led to the initiation of a newsletter as of January 1st, 2015. And that became a whole movement simply because thousands of people from all around the world have chosen to start their day with a shot of inspiration simply because they have realized that the better they feel, the better they can perform. But why are we here today specifically? Because we've crossed that mark, and maybe you are more aware of the imperial system. So a marathon is 42 kilometers, and this is why I chose today as the end of my marathon. This is why I have realized that the most important milestone for me up until now in this incredible journey is today. And of course, this will mean a lot more to you once you realize what it means for you. But first, I want to start by saying, okay, Angelo, you've run like 4,200 days of consecutive daily shots of inspiration. But how far can you go with this thing? Well, I want to tell you that I have begun the process to put Inspresso Daily in the Guinness Book of Records as the longest standing personal development newsletter. And who knows, maybe newsletter in total. I don't know yet. I have just begun the process like a few days ago. This is very exciting, of course, as you realize. But can you imagine? Just a hobbyist idea. It wasn't even a business idea. It was back in 2015. Of course, as you probably know, the newsletter began in for my Greek audience only. And all I wanted to do is to make help people feel better, because back then it was like when Greece was hit very hard with the ripple effects of the global financial crisis. So there was like a delay of, let's say, 2 years. And as the whole incident broke out in the US back in the end of 2008, we would start feeling it in Greece, let's say at 2010, 2011, and up until like 2015, it was unbearable for so many people. Very close to depressing, like very hard times. And I believe the unemployment rate was 26% or something. It was harsh. So I thought, why not help some people? But the thing is, and this is what we're going to be talking about it today. Back then, when I started, I couldn't imagine myself doing 4,200 days, consecutive days. I mean, I haven't brushed my teeth. In the last 4,200 days, I have definitely missed some days brushing my teeth, but not a single day writing a daily shot of inspiration. I mean, I remember back in the time where I even wrote something. I was on MailChimp back then, and then I used another platform because MailChimp would shut me down from a technical error or something. And I learned in a matter of hours to migrate my list to a new platform, and even learn how to create a newsletter in that new platform so that I will not miss the day. You will also meet, this is like for me the most important thing, maybe the reason why we're doing this today. You will meet the real enemy of your happiness and success. Maybe in words that you've never heard before, and most probably like in the clearest possible way yet. And it will be, I believe, an epiphany for you. And last but not least, you will learn how to run your own marathon, because we're here, regardless if you recognize it or not, we're here for you, not for me. I've run my marathon. But I want to give you a bit of warning. What I'm going to say in the next few minutes, and it won't take long, I believe it will take us about 30 to 45 minutes for this whole event, might make you feel jealous. It might even make you feel angry at some point, or confused, or maybe inspired. So I will be talking, I will be giving the exact same presentation to all, but at the same time, for some weird reason that we all know what that reason is, each of you will have a different reaction. So, how do you feel? The question that I keep asking on each and every masterclass, each and every event, and the question that you want to ask yourself many times during the day, simply because the better you feel, the better the quality of your life is right now, and the more energy you have towards achieving whatever it is that you want to achieve. And of course, we have set our thermostat to the happy and unstoppable state. And if we're not there yet, what we're doing is practicing the exercises of perspective, forgiveness, love, gratitude, and happy landing to elevate ourselves back to 10 out of 10 happy and unstoppable, because we recognize that life is much better and much easier and much lovelier from that state. Now, this alone was my intention, my why for Inspresso Daily, for the daily shots of inspiration. This was it. So, as I said back then, things were so bad that I remember reading, I was, like very intensively hooked with personal development back then. I was reading and listening and watching whatever came across. So it was Maya Angelou's word that touched me a lot. And she was saying that people will not remember what you said or what you did, but they will always remember how you made them feel. And that stuck with me. So I said, I want to start writing a newsletter. And all I want is to make people feel a little bit better than the time they opened my email. That was it. And as you probably know, it won't take more than a few seconds to read my daily shot of inspiration. It's not an essay, right? That was it. So, and by the way, if you're new at this, if you just met me, or if you stumbled upon this YouTube live, basically, Inspresso comes from two words, inspiration and espresso, the Italian coffee that basically is typically drunk like one shot, right? So that was it. Just a few words that will give you a little like energy boost so that your day is a little bit happier and a little bit more successful. And of course, if you follow the path along the way, you're collecting the little pieces that makes this life even more amazing and takes you much, much closer to what we call now for years your super self, the version of you who has already accomplished whatever it is that you want to achieve. And back then, when I was getting started, I was so hooked on helping others that I didn't see that coming. And I started receiving thousands of thank you replies. Thousands. Which was, of course, this was my fuel to keep going, but it was also guiding me towards making the next daily shot of inspiration like more successful, more to the point, and so on, because I had feedback. I knew what was working, I knew what didn't. Some days I received like 0 replies, other days it was like 7 replies. What worked then, I was adapting. But you know what? Even though I received those thousands of thank you notes, the Greek tax authorities, I don't know what happens in the other places in the world, but the Greek tax authorities, they don't accept them. So, yeah. So That said, I will also be presenting my new program today, which is the best by far and most certainly the most powerful I have ever done. And soon enough, you will know why. But you're not here to listen to my story. You're here because you want to write the next chapter of your story. And of course, you want to make it as amazing as possible. Right? We're here for you. We're not here for me. Yes, I will be celebrating 4,200 days. It's very hard to grasp. I will be celebrating afterwards. So let's focus on you right now. But because you have unfulfilled desires, you truly want to make sure you're getting the point from the next few minutes. And also, you deserve to manifest each and every one of those desires. This is why you want to say, you know what, Angelo, you have my undivided attention. I will stop playing, this game with or having the World Cup because my team is playing right now and have the World Cup game on the background. So it's finally time for us to reveal, maybe for the first time ever with that clarity, the villain, the enemy, the one that keeps you away from the happiness and success you deserve and desire. And it's not your fault. It's just that, drum roll, you're just paying an unbearable success tax. You've made a very poor contract with life. That's it. And you know what? Every single day, consciously or unconsciously, you say yes again and you resign that contract. Stress, long hours, deteriorating health, deteriorating relationships are part of most people's everyday lives. And basically, what that means to you is that you've given away all your priceless possessions for some kind of success. And maybe because success is subjective, maybe it's on other people's terms. It's just that you didn't take a time out from life to assess, is this my definition of success? Does this make sense for me? And this is where everything starts to fall apart, as you will see, because about 3 years ago, I've made by far the biggest mistake in my life. I came back from a very significant meeting, and it took place in the US, and I met some very successful people, as most would call them. And most of them are on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being freaked out, very close to that in terms of their stress levels, even though they had a very brilliant way of making this look very cool. And I thought, you know what? Maybe you are exaggerating this whole stress thing, this happy and unstoppable state, even though one of your core mentors, Tony Robbins, says, people, stop coming back to me asking for more strategies. You have to fix your story first. And even before that, you have to fix what? Your state, right? So even though I said, you know what? Let me succeed first. Let me make more money, and then I will distress later. I will pay for more massages or whatever for more time off. But if you stayed in life for more than a few days, you know that does not work. But I was sold to that promise. Nobody told me, but I just saw some happily looking successful people, and I thought, you know what? Let's try this so that I can accelerate my vision and get there faster, become more successful even faster. You know what? Everything started to fall apart. It didn't make any sense. And not only that, I broke my own rule number one to make sure that I feel 10 out of 10 happy and unstoppable, and then do everything else. And from happy and unstoppable, soon enough, I became stressed and stoppable. And this was one of the most brilliant, most amazing gifts I've ever gotten from life. Because now I know how others feel. Because I was telling everyone, you know what, you shouldn't feel so stressed. You know, you can do this, that, or the other. But the truth is that I've never felt deep levels of stress or prolonged levels of stress so that I have empathy towards others and truly understand to the core of my being how they feel and why it is difficult for them to respond or react differently depending on their state. And then I knew it wasn't something I read, it was something I lived. And that was a brilliant, brilliant gift. And so I'm so grateful. My whole work became like infinite times more powerful and more, it made more sense to me why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I'm so grateful right now because this was like the pivotal point both in my life and my business. And how did I rebound so fast though? Okay, you've had, like your stressful state, you've had your failure, whatever, you've had your setback. How do you rebound and do you do it fast and how do you do it, like with the fundamentals so that it is sustainable? Well, it wasn't because of what I learned for sure. Knowledge is way, way, way overrated. And now in the era of artificial intelligence, it becomes even more apparent that it's not what you know that matters, it's what becomes part of your operating system, meaning your habitual thoughts and actions. So the magic keyword that unlocks the kingdom of super happiness and super success is consistency. I did 4,200 daily shots of inspiration without missing a single day. I have proof. Not because I am the best copywriter in the world, not because that I am a better coach than Tony Robbins, not because of this reason, that, or the other, but simply because I did it every single day. Sometimes I was traveling and I was, like planning like 3-4 days ahead, but every single day a shot of inspiration was sent out and was read by thousands of times all around the world. So why the super self model works so well? Because it is based on the only thing in your whole life that you have absolute control over, and that is yourself. That's it. Change yourself, change your world. It is as marvelous and as simple as that, but not as easy. And this is why we're here. And that's why I have created Super Life Hacking. Because it's not about learning, it's about programming. And you don't have to do the coding. So now in the AI era and the era of vibe coding, you won't be doing any vibe coding. I will be doing it for you because throughout these 11 and a half years, if you do the math, that's about it. Yesterday, we celebrated 11 and a half years. What I've learned is to very easily put myself in a flow state, especially if I'm working with someone one-on-one. So sometimes if someone from my private coaching client group is watching right now, you probably remember saying at least once in your life, Angelo, how do you do it? I mean, Are you watching me? Do you have like cameras? How are you doing it? How are you so in tune with what I feel or what I'm doing right now or what I'm stressed about or what I am about to do? And the answer is very, very simple. I have practiced a lot on doing something that is sounds like a bit silly, but it works. I act as if I have two cell phones, and on one of them, I'm talking to you, which is basically most of the times your sloppy self. You're at a rather sloppy state. Otherwise, you wouldn't give your time and money to me to take you from your sloppy state to your super state. And that's okay. That's brilliant for both of us. And on the other hand, I'm holding a cell phone talking to your super self. And the reason that I can do it is that I have invested time before our meeting to attune myself to my super state because you cannot, attract, download higher level ideas from the same level of consciousness as Einstein warned us over a century ago. So you will not learn to be in a super state like this is it, do it on your own time, like practice as much as you can, you will be programmed along the way of that special program to make it a habit, make your super state a habit. So, what the new Super Life Hacking is all about, we will begin with an intensive alignment program. It will take a week where we will be meeting every single day. And I know that you're busy, but make sure to attend live or at least make sure that you watch each day's replay because it is very important for you to sleep with the next level of, let's say, downloads and instructions before we move to the weekly program, which is a group hacking meeting. And there, two things will take place. We will have hot seats where I will be reprogramming each one of you in real time. And at the same time, I will be explaining the process so that you will be doing it on your own and others. So after a few weeks, all of you will be practicing coaching others and mentoring others. And this will be, of course, a very beautiful thing because this way you will understand that you own that knowledge and that is part of your new upgraded operating system. And we are starting at September 14th. And now the question might be, what will happen up until then? I have a very beautiful surprise for you for that. All I want to say right now is that founding members price is only $497. And that is not all, of course, because there is another problem. And that problem is that right now, whether you realize it or not, you have an installed antivirus system in your body that says no to all these beautiful upgrades. And this is why you feel you're struggling. And this is why sometimes you feel that you're putting all the effort, all the affirmations, all the habitual work and everything, and still feeling stuck and without any noticeable outcome. You know what that is? That is your nervous system. And every time you say, I want, your nervous system says, I don't. Because every change that you want to bring out, no matter how beautiful it is something new. A new means scary, and your subconscious's number one job is to keep you alive, keep you safe. And we have to do something about that because you cannot be creative from a stressful state. And the way we are going to tackle that is with 60 days of vacation with Super Angelo. So I will be bringing like the best version of me. I'm not talking about vacation in Greece for 60 days, of course. That could be our project for next year. I'm definitely working on a very like a special mastermind, but what I'm talking right now is to have the next 2 months focused on one thing, and that is making sure you relieve yourself from all the stress, all the lower emotions that have definitely troubled you for months, years, or even decades. and help you make absolute peace with your past, your present, and your future. And consider this as a process goal. It's not something that you want to achieve, it's something that you want to have fun with. And you know what? In Greece, going on vacation, on most places, I can understand that for most people, going on vacation is like a nice thing to have, right? But in Greece, it's even more intense on, you know what? I need vacation right now, even from people who are not that stressed. It's like a drug, let's say. So, what I'm talking about here is that for you, not to say, I need this, but to say, I appreciate this. So, maybe you're having your like favorite tea or your favorite cocktail at the beach, and at the same time, we're Zooming together and we are doing some elimination work. We're doing some clearing. We're doing some perspective work so that you can upgrade your perspective on something that has been challenging you for years. That's about it. And of course, that is not all. I have another super gift for you, the one that I'm most excited about: access 24/7, 365 days a year to my twin brother who is about to be born. And of course, that is not other than Super Angelo AI. So you will be having personalized assistance whenever you need it with the AI version of me. And this is how we are going to convert 4,200 daily shots of inspiration, hundreds of webinars. All my seminars will go into a cocktail engine, and like value will be coming out whenever you need it in a personalized way. So I'm not talking about answers like the ones you get from ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude or Perplexity. I'm talking about things like, you know what, right now you are at a sloppy state simply because your perspective needs some tweaking. How would you like to go about doing these exercises to take you from where you are to your super state? Because you deserve to be at your super state all day long, and so on and so forth. Okay, of course, that means that as a founding member, there will be some issues that I would kindly ask you for your patience and persistence, because your feedback will be greatly appreciated. But also, as a founding member, you will be getting, because this at some point this thing will become a paid version. Of course, there will be a paid version, because this is, as you might know, this is a very expensive thing to run. Okay, so there will be a paid version, but as a founding member, you will get 2 times your investment for the program in tokens. And you know what that means? You've just doubled your money, and you get to keep everything else, right? And that is not all. So we're still in alpha, and we will be growing towards that direction. And of course, there will be some hiccups, but if our intention is set towards getting the best out of a system, because it is a system, to take you as close and as easily and as happily as possible to your ideal destination, because this is the job description, everyone will benefit. Now, there is a super gift number 3. Select for those who will decide to travel first class with us. I will be subsidizing 1,000 minutes of talk time of private coaching, right? To the level that it is even cheaper than the minimum Greek wage, the minimum Greek hourly rate. Okay, which, by the way, is, you might find it I mean, if you're in the US, you will realize how ridiculous that sounds. It's 5.5 euro right now per hour. That's the minimum wage in Greece right now. And I also have a super guarantee for the very first time to that level. So you're not only getting these bonuses and get to keep them. If you travel economy class with us, you'll receive a bonus of 2 90-minute one-on-one sessions so that we can work together privately and see what we need to tweak and upgrade. And if you travel first class and you're not entirely satisfied with your performance until the end of this year, you will get the Unstoppable program, which virtually means we will be seeing each other every week next year, absolutely free. This alone would make you understand that, or appreciate better, that I have no intention of working for free with a one-on-one client for a whole year. And that means I'm well prepared when I say this. And that means that the value that you will be getting, it will be multiple times your investment, regardless of your choice of seating. Okay. And that said, you're here to celebrate 4,200 days with me. And because of the fact that you have decided to invest your time for my celebration and your personal development, you get an extra price reduction for $420 and $4,200 respectively. But this will last only until midnight Pacific tonight. So if you're watching live or if you're watching the replay, act fast. Midnight Pacific tonight, or if you're from Greece, that's 10 a.m. next day. If you're in London, that's 8 a.m. tomorrow. This offer goes down. So all you have to do right now is go to angelolabrou.com/42, and just to make sure you're not making a typo or whatever and miss the amazing offer that I have for you, what I will be doing is I will put now this link also in the live chat so that you have available the link to click. And I want to give you an overview of what happened in the last 30 minutes. All I wanted to say in a punchline is that you're not behind. You're just paying an unbearable success tax. And regardless if we work together on that level or not, this has to stop. I'm sure you agree with that. And virtually, I want to leave you with a story that changed the whole story about today. Because last night at about 10 p.m. Greek time, I was very tired. I was preparing all this. And at the same time, I haven't written yet the daily shot of inspiration for this morning. And I wanted to be a masterpiece. I wanted to be, if not the best, one of the very best. Usually I tend, my eyes will water. I will know that, I touched the chord. I know that I've connected with divine inspiration when I do that. It doesn't happen all the time, but it happens quite often. So it hasn't happened. And I've had like a few ideas of what to write, like 2-3 subjects, and none worked. It didn't make any sense from the progress that I've made during the past few days, because once you push for these events, your consciousness goes up, right? It broadens, it expands. So what happened was I said to myself, no, you're not going to do like your celebratory 4,200, like in a heartbeat just because you're tired. So I sat down and started, like preparing myself to put myself in a relatively meditative state with my eyes open, of course, just to connect with divine and get some download. And just in a matter of seconds, I was struck by the idea, if you read today's daily shot of inspiration, with a story from the movie Secretariat. So this is the moment that I realized immediately, once again, I was connected to flow so easily, and instinctively, there was a rather silent scream coming out of me, as if, like from the very deepest depths of my soul. It works! It works! As if my super self was trying to warn me that my sloppy self was crawling back up, ready to kick me, like, and hit me with another, like, you don't deserve this, that, or the other, now that I was tired. So my super self, it was like a cry from my super self. Stop beating yourself up, because it still happens, by the way, to the very best, right? I mean, Michael Phelps with like a dozen gold medals was suicidal. It never ends. It's a lifelong journey, but at the same time, you can get the edge and pre-program yourself and be ready and be more conscious. And this is when I realized to the core of my being that this story was intended not only for myself, but for you. Because now, in case you didn't read it or you want to hear me saying it, here's the story. So it's by close to the end of the movie. It's the last and most important race of all. And Secretariat's owner, Penny Chenery, caresses his face a bit, touches him like very calmly and in a parenting way, let's say, and says, you know what? I've run my race. I didn't quit. I'm still here. Now it's time for you to run your race. And this is the message that I want to leave you with today. Maybe you're acting still as if you're expecting permission from someone else to start living your super life, and that is definitely not the case. So regardless if we work or not together on that level, this is something that you need to decide on your own right now and say, enough with this. I will put all my attention, all my energy on becoming my super self and living my super life. So if you expect from me to go through like an endless list of bonuses or, FAQ questions to convince you to enroll to that program, it's not going to happen. Basically, I'm about to take off and go celebrate for 4,200 daily shots of inspiration. You're more than welcome to send me any questions that you have, and I will be very happy to answer them all. In fact, I will be not only honored, but also touched by the fact that you care so much about yourself, that I am willing even to extend, to grant you an extension to the discount that I mentioned until you receive my answer and you are satisfied with my answer. But that said, now is your time. Never, ever again remove from yourself the fact, from your consciousness, the fact that you have the freedom and the responsibility to make your next move. I've run my race. I'm becoming a bit emotional right now because I know that I haven't digested and metabolized the whole journey of 4,200 days, but I've run my race. It's time for you to run yours. And not for the last time, for sure. I remind you that you deserve everything you want, and we all deserve your best self. And I wish you, regardless, an amazing day, an amazing life. I really hope to see you inside the Super Life Hacking Club that we will be building up very, very soon, basically as of tomorrow. Regardless, though, all you want to remember is that this is your life, your one life. Make it unique. Thank you so much for your attention and participation, and I wish you the very best regardless. If this is like the right thing for you, this is the case, angelolabrou.com/42. Go now, enroll, and I will see you inside the program. Ciao, ciao.